What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Quinn Wade, basketball analysis, coming to you with an NBA prediction for the last series of the round. Is the Houston Rockets versus the Los Angeles Clippers. This one is like the Cleveland Cavaliers Chicago Bulls series. Honestly, to even start the video off, you really don't know who's gonna win this series. The Clippers just took the Spurs to 7. They won by 2 points. But the Spurs wasn't healthy and they wasn't playing their best basketball. And the same can be said for the Houston Rockets. They went against a Dallas Mavericks team that wasn't healthy, had some injuries. They just wasn't playing well. And the Rockets got an easy first round matchup and they took care of business in 5. Now they got to actually go against a team that can challenge them offensively and defensively. And the same with the Clippers. They struggled because they had to play Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, and DeAndre so many minutes. It just wants you to think, can they do it for another series? Chris Paul already got his hamstring hurt. The more minutes they play, the more chances they can get injured. So I wonder if the Clippers can stay healthy this whole series. I wonder if they're gonna be having enough energy for this series. The Clippers are playing a crazy amount of minutes, and I think it's gonna catch up to them eventually. They hungry. They want the championship. They competed hard. They executed in a couple games against the Spurs, and they beat the defending champs at their home court. They were down 3-2 and won 2 games in a row. So you can't count out the Clippers. But I do think the same thing about the Rockets. You can't count the Rockets against the Clippers because the Rockets playing their best basketball basically in the last 10 years to me. They got players that play defense, Corey Brewer, Trevor Ariza, Josh Smith, KJ McDaniels, Patrick Beverly. They changed from being an offensive team to having defensive players on the team. They athletic just like the Clippers. They can get out on the floor. They can protect the paint. They can get rebounds. They can fight. I think the Rockets is up there with the Clippers. And like I've been saying that all year, I think the Rockets are championship contenders. And if they beat the Clippers, I think Golden State will beat them. But Golden State is going to have some trouble. The Rockets are a good team. They're a contender this year. And James Harden has proved it against the Mavericks series that he's ready to do what he got to do to carry this team. He carried the team all year, and I think he's MVP. I think he's going to try to do it in this Clippers series. He struggles, like James Harden struggles against the Clippers, though. That's going to be the hugest thing. Can Kevin McHale put James Harden in situations where he can succeed? The last couple of years, he struggled against the Clippers. They double team him, they trap him, they lock down the paint, they don't foul him as much. But we're going to have to see how James Harden will perform against the Clippers. He really been struggling against him. That's the first question mark I got in this series. The second question mark, what is Dwight Howard going to do? Because he can get DeAndre Jordan in foul trouble because he can post up and he can bang with him. Because Tim Duncan and them, they didn't do a good job of getting DeAndre Jordan in foul trouble. That's what Dwight Howard need to do. They need to go right to Dwight Howard, let him bang, get some contact, and get DeAndre Jordan in foul trouble. The more you got DeAndre off the court, the easier it is to guard the Clippers because you know Doc Rivers don't want to play Spencer Hawes. So you can get Dwight Howard and Josh Smith the ball in the post, get DeAndre Jordan in some pick and rolls, get them all away from the basket like the Spurs were trying to do. But like I said, if you can't do that, you got to get them in foul trouble. We already know Dwight Howard can bang and he can get them in foul trouble. And the same thing with the Clippers. Get Dwight Howard in foul trouble, then you can get in the paint. Chris Paul not gonna be able to do them little floaters against Dwight Howard because Dwight Howard he explosive and he can block them floaters. He can get out the floor quick. He can contest all them layups. So Jamal Crawford and Chris Paul gonna really have to watch going into the paint. Same with Blake Griffin. You thought Tim Duncan was holding the paint good. Dwight Howard gonna beat Blake Griffin's stuff. He can't body, turn around, hook shot. He can't do none of them layups in the paint with Dwight Howard in there. So I want to know what Blake Griffin gonna do. Is he gonna be a jump shooter? Is he still gonna attack the paint? Because those little layups and floaters not gonna work against Dwight Howard because he's gonna eat that up. So I don't know what Blake Griffin gonna do. Is he gonna get to the free throw line? Is he gonna knock down some mid-range jump shots? Is he gonna stay aggressive? He's been killing the boards. But Houston hasn't improved on their rebounding. And we already know like Dwight Howard getting 26 and 19 rebounds. So is DeAndre Jordan gonna dominate in the paint? Is Blake Griffin gonna be able to get 13, 14 rebounds with Dwight Howard and Josh Smith down there battling? So the biggest factors of the series is, can James Harden get into a groove? He been struggling against the Clippers. What is Dwight Howard gonna bring? I got a Dwight Howard breakdown coming up Monday or Tuesday, so you check out that on Monday or Tuesday. And I got Josh Smith coming up too. So that's gonna be the biggest factors. James Harden, Dwight Howard, DeAndre Jordan. What is Blake Griffin gonna do? Because he can't attack the paint he wants to because of Dwight Howard. And can they stay healthy? Because they playing 45 minutes. They playing hard. They always got the ball in their hands. They always got to make all the decisions. Is the Clippers going to get tired? Is they going to get gas? Is one of them going to get injured for playing so hard? That's going to be one of the biggest things. And they both, like, the thing about these teams, they both turn over the ball. They both made mental mistakes. And they both are great offensive teams. It just going, who can, like the Spurs series was, who can outscore who? The Clippers are the better offensive team, but the Rockets can score with them. So that's how the keys of the series. Who can outscore who in this series? And like I said, I'm probably gonna go with the Rockets. If I had to pick a team, I didn't want to pick in this series because you don't know who really gonna win this one. I'm going to go Rockets in 7, honestly, because I just think the Rockets got a better bench. They got better individual defenders. They got team defense. I think Patrick Beverly gonna come back a healthy. Monty Eunice should be back in this series. KJ McDaniel should be able to give them 5 to 10 minutes off the bench. They all should be healthy in this series because they've been injured for over a month. I think all their injuries, they should start coming back during this series. And I think they defense, the individual defender is going to help them out because the Spurs just couldn't guard the pick and roll. They just couldn't guard the Clippers because they weren't athletic enough. They weren't quick enough. They just didn't have the personnel. Like I said, Josh Smith and Dwight Howard, they can contain Blake Griffin. They can stop DeAndre Jordan from grabbing on a rebound. They can stop DeAndre Jordan from getting them alley-oops because they can hop and block the pass. I think the Rockets got the right personnel to upset the Clippers because the Clippers should be the favorite in the series just because they beat the Spurs, the defending champs. But I'm actually probably going to go with Houston in this series because of my reason. They defense, their athletic abilities, and James Harden look like he wants something to prove. He want to get to the Western Conference Finals. But don't count out the Clippers. In this series, you can't go wrong. I think the Clippers should be the favorites, but I'm honestly going to go with the Rockets on this one. You can't go wrong in this series. But the Clippers, they look like they on a mission. Before I end the video, they look like they on a mission. They look like they're ready for a championship. They looking like they're ready to beat the Golden State Warriors. The Clippers are impressing me. It's just that they bench is going to hold them back because they got to play Chris Paul and Blake Griffin and DeAndre so many minutes. They going to eventually get tired. They're going to eventually, like in game 5, Blake Griffin just looked exhausted. He was missing free throws. He was missing jump shots. He was turning the ball over. He didn't have that much lift. It's going to hurt them as farther and farther they get into the playoffs. It's going to hurt the Clippers even more just to stay healthy, just to stay with energy because they playing so many minutes. Like, just imagine if the game's going to overtime. The Clippers bench just going to hold them back. And that's why I'm picking the Rockets. Just the Rockets got more players. They got more of a bench. They got more talent right now. They got better defense. They got better defenders. I just think the Rockets are not the favorite, but I'm probably going to go with the Rockets in 7 in this series. And they got home court advantage because they're the number 2 seed. So I think the Rockets win this in 7. Let me know what you guys think. Comment, like, subscribe, and share. Feel free to check out my older video. If you like this video, like my older video, subscribe. And like I said, with this series, you just can't go wrong. It's either the Clippers going to win or the Rockets going to win. But I don't really know who's going to win this series. I'm just guessing. If I had to pick, I'd pick the Rockets. That's just my opinion, though. Let me know what you guys think.